Mr. Transformers 96 here with another end of the year video. This time I'm going to be doing a countdown of my top favorite Funko Pops released this year, 2018. So this is quite exciting. I have my yearly videos that I do every single year, and I'm introducing a few new ones. I'm actually, this year, from what my plan is, I'm taking out two of the ones that I usually do. I'm taking out one of the ones that I usually do. I'm introducing two more new ones that I haven't done before. So it's kind of fun. I've been making a lot of these videos recently, but this one's of course going to be the Funko Pop ones, ranking them from my top 10 favorites, from my least favorite of the top 10 to my top 10, to my top number 1. This is not the only Pops that I have that you're seeing right now. This is my main collection of Pops, my main display for them, but in my actual collection room I do have smaller displays and detail cabinets for It, Stranger Things, for Night Before Christmas and the Leica stuff, things like that. And then there's a bunch of Pops that I have that just don't kind of fit with they don't fit with those themes and they don't fit with these themes, because if you can kind of see, this theme is kind of superhero in the top 2 rows, Disney in the bottom 2 rows. So I have all the ones that kind of don't fit with any of those themes in my closet, just kind of in a bit of a storage mode. So I have quite a lot of Pops to go through, and I'm quite excited to do this because there were some great Pops that came out this year. The reason I am doing this video this year is because I never really collected Funko Pops before this year. Over the past couple of years, I purchased a Pop here and there. A lot of the Marvel villains I used to buy the Pops for, and then just any Pop that really caught my eye because it was something incredibly unique I bought. But I never really collected them. This year though, I heavily collected them. Really bought a whole lot, and I'm enjoying them. They're quite fun. They're pretty cheap too, and with a lot of stores giving discounts, you can get them pretty cheap. So they're fun, easy to collect, and their character selection is just out of this world, which just makes them great. So yeah, so let's get started with my top 10 favorite Funko Pops of 2018. In 10th place, we have Frozone from Incredibles 2. This is a really nice Pop. I really like the kind of display or movement quality to it, where he's shooting out the ice, which I think is really cool. They could have easily done this a lot simpler for them. They could have just had him standing with, and still have him express the ice powers by maybe having like the an icicle kind of ball in his hand, the one that he used to Jack, things like that. They could have easily just made him a standard figure and still showing his ice powers, but instead they really went to the extreme. They have him gliding here on his board on a path of ice that he's shooting out of his hand. Really cool, very dynamic, and a little bit more than you'd expect for your typical just standard Pop. 9th place, we have Mr. Bubinski from the Coraline line. I'm a big fan of Coraline, and Mr. Bubinski was a character that I never expected to get. I didn't expect to get many Coraline figures, just Coraline herself maybe in 2 different outfits, but to get a whole wave was really cool, and Mr. Bubinski in that wave was really awesome. Didn't expect that, and he turned out to be great. He was my favorite Coraline figure from Pop, and he's got a nice, he's very large for a Pop. He's extremely tall, especially with the hat on top of his head, and then his head has a longer proportion style to it. It's not as rectangle as it usually is. It's kind of rectangle, but the other way. And I do like the pose that he's in, like introducing us to his mouse show, and the fact that it comes with a little mouse. The mouse leader actually is really cool. I absolutely love this. I think it's a great Pop, and something I didn't expect to get, which just makes it even better. Next up, we have the Georgie and Pennywise movie moment from the It 2017 movie. This is quite a fun movie moment. I think this is actually my first movie moment figure, which is really cool. I'm really into movie moments now, so this was kind of my introduction to them. But I think this is nice from a classic moment in the film. You have Georgie kneeling down, looking at Pennywise in the sewer. You have the little paper boat about to fly in the sewer. And my 2 favorite things about this, there's one disappointing thing, is that it doesn't really feature 2 Pops. You get 1 Pop and you get a head of another. So, it kind of feel a little gypped in that sense. But what really makes up for it is the weight of this. Even though this has the fewest characters on it from any of my movie moments, this is my heaviest movie moment. There's just a ton of plastic in the sewer section, and it just makes this really weighed nicely. It feels like a good chunk of plastic, which is great. And then my other favorite thing about it is the water effect. I love the puddle of water as it's running into the sewer. It's got this great translucent look to it. It really looks realistic, like incredibly realistic. I'm very impressed with it. I think it just looks super cool. It's fun to look at. I love all the little raindrops as it's hitting the water. Very nice, and just in general, it's a very unique movie moment, and it's one of my favorite movie moments, I must say. Moving on to the Mad Titan, we have Thanos on his throne. This is from Guardians of the Galaxy, however it did come out this year. This is quite exciting. I do have a Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos, but this is the representation of Thanos that I wanted from Guardians of the Galaxy that we're finally getting now. We have him on his throne. The throne is done really nicely. I love the fact that it's levitating off the ground too, which is great, and that you do have the exhaust kind of boosters shooting out of the bottom, which is really cool. They've done it really nicely where it does look like it's all separate pieces. Obviously, the footrest is not supposed to be connected to the chair, and it looks like it's floating on its own, and the armrests are not supposed to be connected to anything, and the armrests are of course just attached to his arms, so they look like they're floating too, which is really cool. It's a nicely done pop, and it's something that was really cool because it was a pop that just, like, the day that they showed it, they also announced that it was coming out next week, which is really cool. That's something that's always fun. With a lot of toy companies, you see a figure for like a year before you finally get it, so to all of a sudden see this and have it be like available to you the next week was really exciting and really fun. So I very much enjoyed getting this pop, and it is a great addition to my collection. And taking that 6th spot, we have Walle here. This is the Box Lunch exclusive Earth Day release. This is a really cool pop, not just for what it is, but also for how it was created and what it was for. But the pop itself is really nice. I do like this version of Walle. It's got the great big eyes, which look great, and then him holding out the shoe with the plant in it is just really adorable. So I really just like it for the look of it in general. But it's also really cool because it was for Earth Day, and this obviously represents Earth Day with him with the plant. But the fact that the figure himself, they didn't just do like a theme, oh, this is kind of plant theme, so it works for Earth Day. They also took it a step above, and the figure is actually made out of a portion of recycled material, which I think is really cool. And then the like almost the entire box is made out of recycled material, which is awesome. And it's got this kind of brown cardboard type of look to it, which is very different from any of the other boxes. So I don't just like this figure for the figure himself. I also like it for how it was made and kind of what it stands for, and I think it's really cool. So in general, it's just a really unique pop, probably the most unique pop that they've made, like just the way that they've made it. So I really enjoy it for that reason, and on top of that, it's just a really great pop in general of Walle. And in 5th place, we had the Basilisk from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I've really always been a fan of the Basilisk from that film. I used to have a little toy of it as a kid, and you would pull its tail and its whole head would like jar forward and the mouth would open. It was really fun. I always loved that toy. So I've always been a big fan of the Basilisk. Was really excited when Funko announced that they were making a Basilisk figure, but also at the same time incredibly disappointed because it was going to be Target exclusive, and those are always extremely hard to get. So I always wanted it, but I was never really thinking that I'd be able to find it or get it. But one day I was at Target and they had one, so I purchased it. I've never seen it since. It just got lucky at that point, and I am incredibly excited for it because it allowed me to grab it for my collection. It's really cool. I love the way that it looks. It almost doesn't feel like a pop. It's so unique in the way that it's structured. Is so different from any other pop. It has tremendous detail throughout it, and the coolest thing about it are the bright gold metallic eyes. They just look really cool, and they just really capture your attention. So I really enjoyed this pop, and definitely deserving a solid spot on this list. Taking that 4th spot is the Jack and Sally Standing on the Mountain from Nightmare Before Christmas. This was a set that really looked great just in the photos, and it looked even better in person. Really nicely done. This is like, I like movie moments when they do like really iconic scenes. This is a super iconic scene, not just from the movie, but from animation history. It's a really iconic shot of the mountain, and then Jack and Sally on top of it, the snow version of it. It's very cool. They could have easily gone with the Halloween version, but I kind of like the snow one that they chose because it allowed them to have some really cool aspects with like the icicles hanging down from the tip of the mountain, as well as the footprints in the snow, which is really cool. And in general, it was interesting how they did the mountain by making it small, but kind of giving us that kind of forced perspective where it still works. Like, it really looks complete, even though like proportion-wise that's not accurate. It actually looks really accurate when you're looking at it, and it's just from an iconic point of the movie. I love the poses that the two figures are in, and then the way that Sally's hair is being swept. I think it just is quite wonderful. So definitely one of my favorite movie moments this year. Next up is the Indoraptor from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I really enjoyed this character in the film. I love this dinosaur. It's my favorite dinosaur that I've seen in any of the Jurassic movies. Just a big fan of it, and getting the pop was really exciting. The pop design is really cool. I love the pose that he's in, the way he's got one arm up. He looks really nice, and he's very large as well. I love the big round base that he comes with too, and just in general, this was a fantastic pop. I liked it so much that I actually customized it. The one in the box is my custom, and if you guys want, I could do a video video showing it, but I completely repainted the whole thing. I sculpted on extensions to the top row of the teeth, as well as to all of his fingernails to give him a sharp teeth, and then of course just added all the paint and added extra detail to it. So this is just a wonderful pop that really inspired my creativity, I guess, and was able to do just to improve it. But alone, it's a great pop too, and just a character that I really enjoyed from a film. Alright, taking that silver medal, we're going to have to give it to Cole Obsidian from Avengers Infinity War. This is a Walgreens exclusive figure that I was really excited for to complete my Black Order series of figures. And when I got it, I knew it was going to be big. He's obviously very big in the movie. So I knew the figure was going to be, nice and big. But getting it in person really shocked me as to how big he really was. This is the biggest, single-carded pop I've ever received. That was just it's a regular pop. It costs the same amount as any regular pop. It comes in a regular pop box. But it's the biggest one I've ever seen, and to this day, it still, maintains that status. I have not seen a bigger pop come just in a regular line before. It's massive. It really towers over figures. Just the Walle that I have here, as you can see, he just dwarfs him. So he's just a massive chunk of a figure, and I really respect the fact that Funko decided to release him just as a regular figure. I've seen them release figures smaller than Cole Obsidian and less heavy than Cole Obsidian in bigger, larger packs that are the deluxe size figures of, so they can charge double the price. But they didn't do that with this one. This one, they kept it as a regular figure, and it is much bigger than your average figure. So the value for money with this figure is absolutely outstanding. I'd say it's the best value for money figure on this list, which is one of the reasons that it gets so high. And the figure itself is excellent as well. It's not like they skimped out on the figure and just gave you a lot of it. It's a great figure that happens to be just super massive, and even much bigger than Thanos, which was a big figure that blew my mind when I got that one too. So this one definitely deserves quite a high spot on this list. And taking the top spot on this list, I'm giving it to the Captain Hook and TikTok movie moment from the Disney Treasures box, the mystery box. This was a movie moment that I really freaked out about when I saw that this was coming in the box. I already had plans to purchase the box, but once I saw that this was the movie moment, I really flipped and was excited to get it. So I'm just a big Disney villain fan. A lot of the Disney villains that they've released came out well before I started collecting Funko, and therefore at this point, most of the Disney villains that are the original ones that they did a while ago are going for over $100 on eBay a piece. So I can't get them. The Captain Hook that they released, I can't get. It's just way too much money. So this allowed me to get a Captain Hook, which makes me excited already. But then on top of that, I'm a huge TikTok fan as well as Captain Hook fan. So to get a movie moment of the two of them from a classic shot in that film is really cool. And again, the water is done really nicely. I enjoy Funko's ability to make water look realistic. With the It one, it looks really realistic, like it's supposed to represent. With this one, it looks realistic in a cartoon fashion, which is supposed to represent. So this is just a great figure that's my favorite Funko Pop, not just from this year, but from all time. Now, I did just recently start to heavily collect Funko. I used to collect it before, just every now and then, but this year was the first year that I heavily collected Funko, so there's not a ton of competition, but from all the figures I purchased this year, and from any that I purchased before it, this is my favorite one. It's super cool. I love the scene, I love the characters, and it was just a fantastic treat. I would hope that they do more like this. More movie moments, especially with Disney villains, would just be fantastic. But for right now, the one that we have is so excellent that I can't complain. It's wonderful, and definitely deserving my my #1 spot on this list. Alright, so there's my top 10 favorite Funko Pops that were released this year, 2018. I enjoyed making this list. As I said before, this is my first time doing a Funko Pop related top 10 list because this is the first year that I really started collecting Funko Pops. But I'm really enjoying them. They're fun. The best thing about them is their character selection. I'm big on character selection because a lot of my favorite characters are the unique ones or the villains, which don't get represented in every toy line because a lot of toy lines just do the main core heroes, essentially. So this really allows me to get all the figures that I enjoy from all the movies that I enjoy. So that's why I'm enjoying Funko Pops and collecting them. Now, whether I'm going to do this for the upcoming years or how much Funko content I post is really going to be up to you guys, because I'm having trouble knowing if you guys like it or not, because some of my Funko videos do wonderful. Like, some of them have great views and really a lot of attention from you guys and comments, and you're liking them, and then some videos just get like no views. So I have no idea if Funko videos are ever going to do well, if you guys are going to enjoy them or not. So whether I do another top 10 next year or just how much Funko stuff I post in general really is going to come out from you guys. So we'll see how good this video does. If, you know, a lot of people are watching it, I'll definitely do one for next year. If it, you know, nobody watches this, then I might try to keep my my channel a little Funko free, because again, like, it's really hard to tell if you guys like Funko stuff or not. But anyway, really enjoyed these Funko items. These are definitely my top 10 favorite ones of the year. I purchased quite a few. I keep, you know, a list on one of the apps that tracks your Funko purchases. I have over 200, and I probably had maybe 20 pops before this year. So as you can see, well, I probably maybe had a little more than that, maybe like 30 or 40. I probably purchased about 150 pops this year, which is insanity, to be quite honest. But yeah, I really enjoyed pops, and this year really my pop collection blew up. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of my top choices, and I'd love to hear what your guys' favorite Funko Pops of the year were, as well as some of your least favorite Funko Pops. That'll be fun as well. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching.